This is the new Ford Ranger, something we haven't seen for quite some time. Most recent examples were dated back to the 90s, and they were a compact truck that you might only see the cable guy drive around. But now it's been enlarged and improved to take on the midsize segment leaders. With strong competition from the Tacoma and Colorado, is the new Ranger really going to be able to pull this off? But before that, remember to click subscribe and visit Edmunds for all of your car and truck shopping needs. Ford is really proud of the fact that this is a steel front bumper, so if you're pushing brush out of the way, you're not scratching up any plastic. But what I really like is it's a really straight cut here, so if you've got your eye on a winch bumper that you want to install, this comes right off, no cutting of any plastic. That's pretty cool. This truck has the optional towing package, which gives it a 7,500 pound tow rating, a 2-inch receiver hitch, a 7-pin trailer connector that's pre-wired for electric trailer brakes, but you'll have to add your own trailer brake controller because that's not an option. As for the bed, it's not damped, the tailgate, as you can see that. The sides of the bed are really tall, which may or may not be a good thing. I'm 6'2", I can reach in, but if you're of average height, you may not be able to. It's also a plain steel bed. This one has the optional spray-in bed liner. It does have 6 tie-down hooks, which is good, but there's no 110-volt outlet like you might see in the back of a Tacoma. So if you're an overlander or a contractor, you can't plug in back here. It's really obvious that you're sitting in a Ford truck in the Ranger. It looks like a scaled-down F-150 in many ways. The screen area looks the same. A lot of these controls are familiar, steering wheel buttons, that sort of thing. I'm not really crazy about the HVAC controls here though. All of these buttons are really small, they look alike, and they're hard to distinguish in low light. But it's really nice. There's a couple of power outlets, 2 USBs here, 2 more on the back of the center console, so there's plenty of those. And the controls for the off-road system are right here, nicely grouped. The rotary dial here switches between 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, and low range, and the button in the middle changes the off-road mode. Ahead of that, there's a diff lock button, a trail control button, and a tow haul mode, along with a couple of other things to shut off the start-stop system and the like. Pretty obvious what everything does, but again, these controls here are pretty small and pretty finicky. I really like the basic layout of the cockpit. The driving position is good. The steering wheel has a lot of telescopic range for me, and center pole parking brake, a couple of cup holders here. The shift lever controls the 10-speed transmission, and there are plus-minus buttons here that allow you to limit the number of gears that you use on a grade, either ascending or descending. It's not really a manual mode though. If you want a nicer interior, you can step up to a Lariat. You can still get the FX4 off-road package. You'll get leather seats and a little bit nicer inserts and trim pieces, and a different gauge package that has a center speedometer and more information screens on the other side of it. The new Ranger comes in extended cab and crew cab versions. They call them Super Crew and Super Cab. And it's a little tight back here in the crew cab. I'm 6'2", I pushed the seat forward a little bit to make room for myself. I could still drive there, but I really can't ride here. There's plenty of headroom. Seat back angle is okay, a little vertical, but not too bad. This isn't the place for somebody my height to spend much time. But it's got a fold down center armrest. There's a couple of USBs, a 110 outlet here. But the biggest problem is this is not a split folding seat. It's just one piece. So there's no way to put cargo on one side and a person on another. You're either going to have the seat completely in use or completely unavailable. Also, if you fold the seat back down, you really don't create a load platform. The only way to really put any cargo back here, except on the seats themselves, you can fold this up and you get a pretty decent cargo space underneath. But some of the other trucks have seats that fold down as well. Nice platform. Not here. The truck I'm driving is a crew cab 4x4 XLT, and the base price for one of those is about $34,000. This one has the FX4 package, the tow package, spray-in bed liner, and other bits, and that brings the price up to about $40,000, including destination. The new Ranger only has one engine and transmission combination, and that's okay because it's a good one. It's a 2.3-liter EcoBoost 4-cylinder engine. It makes 270 horsepower, which lags behind the Tacoma and the Colorado a little bit, but what's really good about it is it's got 310 pound-feet of torque, which is better than either of the other trucks, and it's really what a truck needs, right? Torque is more important. And besides, it's connected to a 10-speed automatic transmission. There's always the right gear at the right time. I've never been in a situation where I thought the transmission made the wrong call or didn't have the right gear for the job. And it's got best-in-class fuel economy. Ford just released fuel economy data on this truck, and it's really good. The 4x2 is rated at 23 combined and 26 on the highway. And the 4x4, which is what we're in now, is 22 combined and 24 on the highway. Those are pretty strong numbers. The Ranger suspension is pretty traditional. Leaf springs in the back, double wishbones up front. The shocks, though, are monotube dampers all around in every version, and the FX4 gets a special tune for off-road performance. But I'm not entirely happy with the result, especially when it comes to large waves in the highway. It tends to bounce a little bit more than I like. But as far as cracks and seams and little bumps, it filters those out really well. So it's a mixed bag. I think the small stuff, it does great. The big stuff, maybe not so much. There's one thing the Ranger doesn't do quite as well as I'd like it to, and that's give me a good sense of what the steering is up to. I don't really feel a lot right around center, just don't get a great sense of straight ahead. And when I'm turning, the effort doesn't really build up as the tires experience more load. It does corner well, and it does go down the road nice and straight. I just don't get a sense of that through the steering wheel. Automatic emergency braking is standard on the new Ranger. And you can also get blind spot monitoring, and if you do that, it has trailer tow coverage, so that will incorporate the length of your trailer into the warning, which is a great feature if you're towing. The infotainment system in the new Ranger, this is a Sync 3 system, touchscreen based. You gotta basically touch the screen to do anything. You do have volume and tune knobs, but any selections you want to make are going to be through the touchscreen, which I'm not a big fan of. I like to see a couple of buttons to get to some shortcuts, but not here. They're all virtual. But at least there's Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and those are really nice, and there are 2 data USBs up front here, so you can connect 2 phones at once, which is great. The midsize truck segment is really interesting, and it's getting more interesting all the time. I mean, we just saw the Jeep Gladiator come in, and that's at one end of the spectrum, and at the other end is the comfy truck, the Honda Ridgeline, and in the middle we have the Ranger, the Tacoma, and the Colorado. Those are the lifestyle trucks that are more traditional, but kind of a Swiss Army knife of trucks. It'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out once we've driven all of them back to back. I'm torn on this truck. I mean, it's great looking on the outside. The interior, not so much. The 2.3-liter EcoBoost engine, 10-speed transmission, an amazing powertrain, and the 7,500-pound tow rating, unmatched. This should be the one to get if towing is what you want to do. As for the off-road performance, it's got some great equipment, but I'm skeptical that the Ranger has the underbody clearance necessary to really take on the Tacoma when the going gets really rough. The new Ranger is a strong competitor in the midsize segment, but what's really needed is a comparison test, and that's coming soon. For more videos like this, click subscribe, and remember to visit Edmunds next time you're ready to buy a car or truck.